We are
I can
live
see
right
us.
now.
We're live. Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing today?
We're live on both Going Nerdy's channel and currently on the Discord server, and we're talking Mando.
Yeah.
Right now, Neil, you are muted on the
Discord.
What do you call it? You're muted on Discord. I don't know why. It's currently deafened. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So this week's episode.
Yeah, let's get into it. So we're talking Mando. Right now we are not spoiling episode 9.
No.
We are simply talking Mandalorian. Starting off on this one, a 41-minute episode, and when they talked about the sneak peek, I didn't know that it was going to be something else. So it was a fairly longer episode.
It was.
But it certainly was short-ish.
Yes. It was. Every moment was perfect, but I wanted more. I wanted all the more.
Well, that's because it ended. We'll talk about the ending here. But honestly, the previously was truly a best of the moments of the 6 episodes beforehand. I mean, that was perfectly timed with bang, 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 bang about everything that happened. And we start off with Carl Weathers giving Mando a lowdown on the city since he had left.
Yeah.
So, it was. I mean, he said, come back. The client's making it hard on us, and you come take out Werner Herzog, and I'll let you keep the kid.
Yes.
I loved seeing Werner Herzog back again.
Okay, and I don't care what anyone says, Werner. I don't care what anyone says. Carl Weathers is Carl Weathers. He is not Grief Karga. He is Carl Weathers. And when he's not running the guild, he's talking about soups and broths and stews. That's what he's doing. Those are my thoughts.
No, I just as soon as I saw that transmission, I'm thinking to myself, okay, clearly it's a trap. Clearly there's a double cross.
Of course.
But it was like, where's it? I just didn't know. I was like, where's the double cross going to come from? I just didn't know where the double cross was going to come from at all. So yeah, I knew that was a trap. I knew there was going to be a double cross. I just didn't know where it was going to come from. So yeah, I was drooling within the first 5 minutes. I'm like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Absolutely. And I'm right there with you, Neil. I thought that they would be working together, that that Carl Weathers and company had teamed up with the Empire, the remnant there, and it was cool to see the change. It was cool to see that wasn't necessarily the case, but also I gotta say, guys, I've been talking about this for weeks now, and I said that we are going to get a crew, and he's going to put a crew together. And what did he do at the start of the episode? Man, he geared up. He got his crew, man. He got his freaking crew. That was awesome.
He headed to Planet Gina. And Planet Gina. And she was in a knife wrestling knife fight with another guy. Looked like a Night Brother.
Yeah.
He went there, and I wrote in my notes that Mando is apparently recruiting a crew, just like you said. So I was
giddy. I'm sitting in at my desk, and I was like, just like giggling.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
So we had the thing where she has she was talking about how if she returned to the New Republic, that she would get a life sentence.
Yeah.
But she's a rebel, though.
So I think there's got to be something else. There's got to be something that we're going to get in season 2 maybe just like sneak peeked in season 2, maybe season 3 or whatever. But we're going to get her backstory. There was an interview with the Mandalorian, the guy. I forget.
Pedro Pascal.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible with names. But there was an interview with Mandalorian, and with Pedro Pascal, and he's like, "Look, she is like the 1.25 main character, right? If the Mandalorian is the main character, like she is a close second." And so I'm thinking that we're going to be getting a great deal of backstory with her, definitely on the show. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see books, comics introduced about her backstory, about her life. Very curious to see how that plays out.
As long as it ain't Chuck Wendig writing them, I'm happy.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh. So, with that being said, you said the 1.25 main character. We all know that's the child. Come on.
Okay, so like 1.5, right?
Okay.
And let's face it, 0.5 is the main character, which is the child. The child is the main character of this show. The Mandalorian is the second main character, and then Cara Dune is the third, clearly. So, awesome episode, loved it. I loved seeing Cara. I've got a question though, real briefly. Do you think the Mandalorian stopped in a specific village before he made his visit to Cara Dune?
I was gutted that we didn't see the hot chick again.
I'm a little shocked that we didn't see her. I'm not surprised necessarily, but like I could have seen that play out in a certain way. So, Paul.
But it was only a 41-minute episode.
True.
If it was longer, maybe we would have seen him stopping there. But we all know that the Mando stopped by the village. We all know that.
And he did not take his helmet off. There's a lot of jokes that can be made there, but I won't go into them.
Now, I will say this. When he gets Cara into the ship, he says, go ahead and pick one. Then she picks a grenade, and then a pistol, and then a rifle, and then a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
He's
like, one.
He said pick one.
One.
Exactly.
Okay, so then I like every moment in this was full. It was
jam-packed.
It was. So that conversation between the Mando and Cara that the child eavesdrops on. I know that they're not going to show us the in-between when the child and Mando are kicking it, hanging out and talking. But I absolutely wonder if what the child knows at this point, because I feel like as he heard that conversation, hence why he went and decided to pilot the ship. That wasn't hey, I'm a 50-year-old in a 3-year-old's body. That was I heard what's about to happen, and I'm going to make a change because my life's in jeopardy.
Yeah,
right?
Mino won't go back. Won't go back.
Yeah, and so
and they said we need to find somebody to watch that thing, and lo and behold, we end up next on planet McNulty.
Yes. Oh, okay. And I don't know if I said this, and I wish that I would have, but in my mind, I freaking called it that the Ugnaught would go back, he'd scavenge IG-11, he'd put him back. The whole concept showing the love that the Ugnaught Queel put into.
Yeah, Paul, you got your IG-11 back again.
I did get my IG-11. I was excited.
Yeah. But the whole show that showed the love that Queel put into, like, resurrecting this character, this droid, was awesome. I freaking loved it. That was so, it was heartwarming, but it was also just it was wonderful to see.
The only thing that was missing from that montage, right, was the song from the Carpenters, "Loving You is easy 'cause you're beautiful." That was the only thing that was missing.
we should form a trio and hang out and make music.
Somebody needs to edit that scene
Yes.
and put the Carpenters' "Loving You" music in the background. That's what somebody needs to do. Somebody in chat, go do that. Go do it.
Now, speaking of the montage, though, the montage of afterward, did either of you laugh when he dropped the box on the lizard?
Okay, I didn't see it the first time, but then when I rewatched it, I was like cackling because that was.
I didn't laugh. I went, oh.
Like
I went, oh,
yeah.
because it was an unnecessary, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, Neil and I disagreeing on something. I laughed my ass off that a lizard died, Neil.
Yeah, but I don't find it funny when life is needlessly taken. That's just me.
But that's well, I guess it's not funny. I mean, I was gonna say, but that's Star Wars. Star Wars life is needlessly taken all the time. I probably didn't laugh the first time I saw Episode 3 and Anakin went into the Senate chamber or the Jedi Council chamber. But every time since I laughed, and mostly it's not that. It's just because of all the memes that have come out since then. Like there's this one meme going around. It's like, hey, wrap a Christmas present with an empty box, and then if your kids are bad, throw it into the fire. But there's a meme with that that says, well, what if you run out of kids?
With Anakin
Skywalker. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's
Master Skywalker, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? That kid's like, that doesn't answer the question, Master. What are we gonna do? Ah! So yes, I mean, but I laughed. I laughed at the lizard. But again, I was so connected to Queel during those moments, and because if you look at like all of the episodes with him in it, it's very loving and caring and very, hey, I'm here for you, even though I don't know who you are. Right? He's a very open character. He embraces
and he has spoken.
And he has spoken.
That's because he came from indentured servitude, like he said.
Yeah.
He had to work his ass off to buy his freedom.
Yeah.
So he kind of, he probably has a lot of expectations out of life, and kind of, reveres it because it was so expensive for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things that I loved, Thad, sorry for interrupting you there, but Queel basically told the Mando, do you trust me? Then you will trust my work. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I wrote in my notes here, loving Nolte's character in this show, so many quotes that come through so well.
Absolutely.
And honestly, if there is another character that I believe that defines the Mandalorian show other than Pedro Pascal, it's actually Queel.
Yeah. I can understand.
And I have spoken.
And you have spoken. Now with that, I will say, I love Star Wars. I love the movies. I love the cartoons. But let's face it, there's a lot of crappy dialogue in Star Wars films, right? There's some really poorly written work.
Oh, there's some really, really stinky cheese in there.
But I love the way that this is written. The interactions. I love that the Mando doesn't he's not like over the top loquacious. He's not super talkative. But I just love the way that it's written. It's beautiful. Like, it's really well done.
And so far we have Mr. Crab is Queel because of the size, the size difference.
Yes.
And then Zero Lam, as I called him, is IG-11, the droid. And then the replacement for the Twi'lek, or Tonks, as we called her in the last Talking Mando.
We aren't sure
have
that
Gina,
it's
the girl.
Not Tonks. We're not sure
we
that
have the
this
girl.
isn't a crossover between Harry Potter and Star Wars. Just throwing that out there.
So at this point, I'm going, all right, so if Thad was right, that leaves somebody to replace Murphy, was it? Or I forget his name already, but to replace Bill Burr's character. And would that have been Mando? But then right then, we do have the child.
Yep.
But we saw in this next part, we saw Gina and Mando arm wrestling, and the child did not like that they were arm wrestling.
No.
He thought that Gina was a threat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And this is where Neil loves it.
Moment.
Oh
Neil.
yeah, no, the force choking. Yeah, I thought to myself, because it's based purely on this relationship that's been building up and up and up. He is totally on board. For all intents purposes, the Mandalorian is his new daddy.
Yeah.
Mandalorian equals daddy, and if daddy's in trouble, Baby Yoda is going to come to his assistance. And when Gina started getting force choked, I was like, oh my god, this kid. But it wasn't just. Here's the thing: it wasn't just that he was doing it; it was that he almost looked like he was. I hesitate to say enjoying doing it. It was almost like they put evil eyes on him for a second. As if the people making the episode wanted you to recognize that what he was doing was misguided.
Yeah, dark side.
Clearly,
dark side.
It was dark side. It was dark side. Baby Yoda. It was Baby Yoda after with food after midnight sort of thing.
Yes. Gremlin Yoda. And one of the things that Pon in my chat on YouTube makes a great point. He says it's so out of the box for what we've seen. You have this adorably cute character who Disney has patented somehow the cuteness of Baby Yoda. And you see him then do something that we as Star Wars fans know to be so dark and so sinister. And even though he's doing it to save or to protect what he views as his father, his caregiver, it is so out of the ordinary and contrasts his character as we've seen it so far, that it's just a powerful moment, while at the same time it's not out of context, but because we've seen him protect.
Well, the thing with the scene was we knew it was coming. But what we didn't know was coming was the force choke, because we saw him kind of do his squint and put his hand up. And I was thinking to myself, we're going to get some comedy relief here. He's going to do some kind of Jedi battle meditation and make it so that the Mandalorian wins the arm wrestle. That is what I was expecting. And then my expectations were completely blown out of the water when you just see Gina's eyes go. And it's like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's force choking her. What the hell is going on here? It's like totally blew me away. And then they all look at him like, whoa, kid, no, shit. Mando had to like explain, no, it's okay,
Yeah.
After that, we had a fight between Queel and Kara, and then Queel basically said, "I'm going to make the kid a new pod, a new egg, an armored egg." And then it was time to head back to the planet Apollo Creed.
Yes.
Planet Apollo Creed. I am liking that.
I made this comment the other day, the last time we were talking about this. If I were to make the egg, if I were to rebuild that for Baby Yoda, I said that he would have a tank.
You did.
I'm just saying that we don't know what's going to happen in Episode 8. We don't know what Queel put into that, and he may have put some self-defense mechanisms to be. That's what I'm hoping, but we'll that'll be later.
So after that, we get the camping. We land on there, and he has 3 friends with him. One that I noticed, and they're not often in Star Wars series, but the Caddis Nikto, the green Nikto, which is the same thing as the comic relief character of Resistance. Yeah. So we saw that, but during this, during the camping scene, all of a sudden, they're attacked by a bunch of flying creatures.
I think they were crate dragons.
I thought they were Minox, but crate dragons.
I thought they were crate dragons.
The closed captioning did not tell me what it was. It said creature screeching.
Yeah.
So I was like, ah.
Yeah. So, but they're poisonous, and they stab Carl Weathers, right? They eventually run him off, which was cool. But one of my favorite bits of dialogue, and this is what I'm going to do if ever I feel myself dying, I will say, "So this is how it ends. Oh, this is how I go out." You know, as over dramatic as possible. You know, just so the people around me kind of cringe, like, "Oh, is he really dying this way?"
All right. So this is the part. This is the part where the most controversial part of the episode happened. The child came over to help, and correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but this is the first instance of forced plastic surgery and medical assistance that we've seen, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's more of Star Trek's thing.
Hold on.
You know,
there has been there has been. You see, just to give you my extended universe perspective, when I saw Baby Yoda coming over, I saw him putting his hand on him, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, we're going to see some force healing here, because in the extended universe there have been situations where Jedi or people have been injured, and a Jedi force healer has placed their hands on the person's body. And I think there was one instance during the Yuuzhan Vong anthology where a Jedi was scratched by, I think it was a Vonsk, or a creature of some kind. Poison was in, and the person used force healing to remove, to excavate the poison from the body. And when I saw Baby Yoda put his hands on Carl Weathers, that was what I thought was going to happen. That is, yeah. I just assumed. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we're going to get some force healing here.
Yeah.
What I was not expecting to see was instant healing. And I'm thinking to myself, you've gone way past the mark here. You've gone too far. It would have been believable, and it would have been Jedi lore to see the poison seep, seep out, because that's what's happened in previous extended universe stories before. When someone has been scratched, that the poison can be removed from the body, but the wound takes time to heal.
Yeah.
So using the force to remove poison from a body, that's part of lore. That's been done before. But to instantaneously heal, a huge gash on an arm, that's brand new. And to me, that was over the top. It was too much. Because it was just too much.
Sorry for those looking at the camera and me flailing around. My laptop almost died. I couldn't find where the battery was.
Oh, but to that extent, and I will have to go back and reread it, restudy it. But there's a duology in the extended canon called MedStar 1 and MedStar 2, and it takes place during the Clone Wars, and it follows. Essentially, it's MASH for Star Wars, right? It's Jedi. It's Jedi with who are healing clones, and it's really a really cool moment.
But was it instantaneous?
And that's what I don't know, because I haven't had time to go back and look at it. I've actually been thinking about MedStar 1 and MedStar 2 for a couple of weeks now, because I've been thinking about how new TV shows are coming out, and I'm like, a MASH TV show featuring Jedi would be kind of interesting.
All right, so we can't dwell on this for too long, because there's so much more that happened, and we've got just a few more minutes here. Apollo Creed then has a change of heart, and he wants to help the Mando now, and he kills the other two guns for hire, and then the plan to capture Herzog begins, the client. So what they did is they had Kara capture Mando, if you will, and Queel takes the child back to the ship. I worried, though, because IG-11 is there, and who is Mando more afraid of, Imperials or droids? That being said, Queel tells Kara to cover her stripes, but nothing about that damn tattoo on her face.
I just wanted to point that out.
What's she gonna do?
I don't get that. It's
what's she gonna do? Like put
error.
mud on her face, throw in some concealer?
No, throw some black under her eyes.
Yeah, I mean that probably would make more sense. But
So
I
we do get the last person. Carl Weathers is Bill Burr, so good call on that, Dan.
So we get this, and then what I'm thinking is, so then what happens is they go through, and there's way more troopers than what Weathers had told them, right?
Yeah.
And it's a huge problem, not only in the city, but also in the actual,
in the canteen. It was the cantina. They'd
Yeah.
taken over the cantina for all intents and purposes. Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you're going to take over somewhere, might as well take over the place that has booze.
Take over the pub, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you agree with that, right?
Yeah.
The Werner Herzog it has this imperial symbol on his chest now.
Yes.
But he then has to step out and take a call, and it's from Moff Gideon. And just as he's taking the call, shots ring out from outside. They just killed the client, and now there are death troopers standing outside of the bar. There's 6 of them with a whole bunch of stormtroopers joining. Fun fact on this: they hired people from the 501st to stand in as some of these stormtroopers. Did you know that?
That's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I actually read about that.
So freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then after that, we're almost to the big reveal, and then we're gonna have to take a break here in a second.
Yeah.
An Imperial TIE fighter comes down. It had folding wings.
Yeah.
Was that the first time that's ever happened, Neil?
Yes, that is.
Is it? Look, it is the folding TIE fighter wings.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So first off, stormtroopers, death troopers, that was awesome.
Clearly
Secondly,
paid more than the ones in the city because they had nice, shiny, clean armor.
Yes. Yeah. That's the other thing too. I think it puts the distinction between who was Moff Gideon's and then who was acting for the client. What's interesting though, again, is what I don't know. Like it just the level, right? I didn't think that the client was answering to Moff Gideon. That threw me, right? Because it seemed. I mean, am I wrong? That seemed that the client was answering to Moff Gideon like that. He was doing.
No, he was.
Well, the next thing that happens is Mando makes a distress call.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a distress call to Quill.
Oh.
To get that kid back to the ship as soon as possible, and that call was heard on all channels.
Yeah.
The speeder troopers heard it. They took off. The shot was that the speeders have Quill in sight. Then they took a shot to Quill, who had the ship in sight.
Yeah.
And then, who wants to say what happens next?
So Quill takes a spill, right? We see the Mando calling, keep calling. He keeps going after. He's like, Quill, respond. And then you see the child on the ground. And like a 1980s skateboard movie, the guy on the speeder swings in, picks up the kid, and drives off, right? And man, you see Quill lying on the ground, smoldering, and I gotta say that this is
I had a lump in my throat.
That was
and
hard.
there was a hole in my heart.
Yeah, Quill. I mean, and because you love him, like he's only in 4 episodes. I mean, he's half the season, third of the season, but my goodness, like I'd grown so accustomed to Quill that
I'm praying he's not dead. I'm praying that IG-11 finds him on the ground outside the ship, takes him in, and once everything's done, there's some miraculous rescue at the end of episode 8, and Baby Yoda heals him. I've got every bone in my body crossed for that. I mean, forget the fact that the speeders knew, what direction to go. I mean, there's 360 degrees that they could have gone, and they went in the precise degree direction of him. So,
well, I mean, if you take out
it's
that
fiction.
Yeah, if you take out that one thing, but oh man,
yeah, I was
All right.
gutted when that happened.
So let's get to it. We have 7 days until we find out what happens
which is
here.
infuriating.
Let's Thad, you give your Beskar rating. I'll give my Beskar rating. Neil, you give yours, and then we will take a break.
As I mentioned to Paul after I had watched this episode, even the death of Queel, it didn't detract from it. It was bit by bit, scene by scene. Everything to me was perfect. I loved this. My Beskar is 5 out of 5.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. 5 out of 5 Beskar rating for this, and I think we finally have a unanimous decision. Neil,
No,
what
we
do you
don't.
got?
We don't.
I'm taking 0.1 away for the over elaborate use of force healing, because that bugged me.
Okay. All right. Now with
But
that,
4.9.
4.9, and I'm going to say that statistically that's within the margin of error. So Neil could be wrong and still have a 5. He just might be statistically inaccurate. And so this is a 4.999 repeating. So
Yeah.
this is the highest score that we've given
So with that,
an episode.
with that being said, guys, on the other side of this break, we are going to be going into episode 9 spoilers. If you're listening live on the listener lounge, we will tag you again if you want to go into the loading dock and talk with Fighting Drunk. He'll be hosting a non-spoiler talk of the movie. If you are listening in a podcast, right here, insert time code here, is where I will tell you to fast forward to if you want to avoid episode 9 spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler.
So for my channel, we will be talking us from here on out. This is talking Rise of Skywalker. If you have not seen it, please don't ruin it for yourself. Even if you don't want to see it,
Not seen it.
Nev has no intention of going to see it. Probably will never see it until it's on TBS or something.
All right,
I've got a funny story. We'll go into it.
Okay. Give me 1 second to throw it to break on the Discord channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on the Escape Podcast and on Thaddeus' channel live, Going Nerdy.
Okay, and then while he's getting that ready, guys, I just gotta say that don't spoil it for yourself. Don't. If you haven't seen it, please take this time.
The Escape Pod Cast
And
with
with
Paul
that,
Anthony
I
and Neil
am
Andrew
going
Ware.
to...
Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Okay, that's seg 1 recorded.
Macias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there.
Okay, I'm unmuted right now.
100% satisfaction guarantee and lots
From you
of
guys.
useful additional
You there?
services.
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Okay.
I've just paused the recording so that we've got 3 separate recordings, mate.
Okay, that's fine. So people are getting to see behind the scenes right now on live channel.
Damn
So
it,
guys,
sit in there.
thank you so much for joining us on the on Going Nerdy's channel. It's an honor.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you can get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics.
I'm going to mute myself here so you can, or are you doing that? Are you going to do that with this in the background?
Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today.
Okay, I'm going to mute it for a second.
For those of you who are watching this, we are taking a quick break, real quick. We will be talking Star Wars Rise of Skywalker here. I saw it last night. I was going to go see it tomorrow, but my wife and daughter are going to go see it, and I'm going to watch my youngest. But I'll probably go see it on Monday again. The non-spoilery review it was fine. It was a fun movie. It was interesting. I look forward to reading the book. Right? That's the nuts and bolts of it. We will be going into many spoilers here in a moment. So But if you guys are interested in the Burning Vader as a Yule log, you can check that out on my channel. I also want to create one from episode 8 that shows Yoda and Luke, Force Ghost Yoda and Luke sitting in front of the burning Force tree. So let me turn this down. But yeah, I think it was a solid one. But let me double check. Make sure all my audios are working. Yeah, this is definitely a behind the scenes look at what this is all going. Neil, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, buddy.
All right.
So can everybody on Discord.
Oh, snap! Sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's not getting recorded for the show. This is behind the scenes stuff.
Awesome. I've now muted myself in the Discord. Remind me when I jump back in to unmute myself.
Unmute yourself.
So
yeah, I've got a funny story for you about this movie.
Okay.
And me not going to see it, so I've got a funny story for you when Paul brings us back.
Okay. So in a moment, I've got to make a call to, let's see. Got to take a step away. Oh.
We're about to go live on your channel, dude.
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna step away for a moment.
I mean, we are live on your channel.
No, I know. I've got to make a call. The llama is calling me. Hold on.
Oh, right. Okay, dude.
Give me a sec. So for those of you not familiar, check out the llama. She's one of the co-hosts of. All right, gotta step away real quick to make a call. I'll be back in a moment.
Going Nerdy's channel is all mine. Burn, Vader, burn.
All right, so I'm back. That was an interesting call from the llama. Should I unmute Discord?
I can hear you, mate. No, don't. Yeah.
All right. So again, if you are here now, that is because you are ready to start talking about the Rise of Skywalker. Now, as soon as Paul gets done with his commercials, we are going to go live, we're live here, but they're going to keep recording. Everyone has either seen it, or like the Nev here, is not going to see it.
Have not seen it.
Have not seen it. Will not see it, probably. So, I'm excited to talk about this. I'm very, very stoked. I went last night and saw it at, my showing was at 9:45, got out at midnight. Paul is he's either flicking me off or telling me I'm okay. 2 minutes is Paul. 20 seconds.
I was about to say, did you not get that 20 seconds? Just radio talk.
I don't know radio talk. I'm just a random person. 5.
10. 5.
4. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year's. All right.
Welcome back to the Escape Podcast and simulcasting on Going Nerdy's channel with Thaddaeus of Going Nerdy. Neil joining me as always. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your last chance to back out.
That's right.
We are going to be talking Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So if you're listening on the show, you could go to the loading. If you don't want to listen to it, head to the loading dock, fighting drunk. I don't know where he went, but
The loading dock,
I
of
don't
course.
see him in the thing. And people weren't hearing me talk. I don't. I totally didn't hit the button. You guys will be able to see that this is your last chance to back out.
I'm losing
if
all my
you
numbers.
Don't want episode 9 spoilers.
But all right, and I'm gonna start us off with the biggest one. Paul, what did you think about?
Hang on.
Hold on. Are we still waiting?
You do realize that we're still looking at a burning Vader right now, right?
Yeah, I know. That was part of the spoiler.
Oh, right. Okay.
Ha! All right.
Just checking.
All right. Now, let's start with the biggest one. Paul, what did you think of Baby Yoda showing up as like adolescent Yoda? Wasn't that weird?
I mean, it was totally awesome to see Teen Yoda.
Yeah, I loved it. Teen Yoda over Teen Groot, 9 times out of 10.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
You think Neil's buying it?
No,
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Worth the
I will be watching. I have to say, I am being dragged to the cinema to watch this movie on Sunday by my dad.
All right.
Who has not watched episode 7 or 8, but he just fancies watching episode 9.
Hey, let him go. Let him go. And enjoy the time with your pop, man. Okay, so
we start out by Kylo Ren basically hunting down Darth Vader's Sith Wayfinder.
Yes.
So he hunts that down. He finds the I totally lost the name of it. Exoplanet of the Sith. Exegol. That's right.
Or Exegol, something like that.
Exegol. The hidden planet of the Sith. You know, you've seen it a million times in old canon, Neil. I know. But it basically we find that Palpatine is still alive, held by a machine. What did you think of the Snoke ball machine?
Okay, so that was the biggest shock here, because what bothered me was a few things about this. I liked it. I thought it was cool, but I wonder how it all ties in. So Snoke was the clone. I mean, he was a clone. Is that wrong? Am I wrong there?
Snoke was made. He was fabricated. I don't think he was a clone. He was fabricated.
Well, then that would by default make him a clone
of something.
But
of something.
Well,
still
of something.
He's still cloned.
Yeah, he's still cloned.
He's still a cloned being.
And so it was weird. Like, I gotta say, as I was watching it, I was thinking about the episode or the trailers that we'd seen, and a lot of the trailers really just depict the first act. There's not a lot that you see outside of that first act that's introduced or even shown in the trailers, and I thought that's very
true.
Interesting. But yes, that whole moment seeing Palpatine, and that whole group of people was interesting for sure. I'm curious, and I've said this before, and I said it to my channel. I am very excited to read Book 9. I've enjoyed books 1 through 8 so far. Even 8. I think Book 8 actually made Episode 8 more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, especially with the scenes of Luke's lucid dreams,
yes,
if you will.
Yes.
I loved that about The Last Jedi book.
Yes, and so I'm very excited to experience Book 9, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff that they're going to be able to go into more depth with, you know, and so that actually excites me. And I think one thing that I think we will see a lot more depth with is the whole Kylo Ren moving to Exegol, his discussion with Palpatine. We'll see more of the different acolytes, the Sith acolytes that were there. It was cool to see that, though. It was cool to see acolytes and not Sith Force users, right?
Yes, and they were part of the Sith group, of the Sith religion.
Yes.
So after that, we end up getting the very, to me, awkward scenes with Leia.
Yeah.
It felt really tough to see, just these casual, nonchalant responses, and then this body double being used.
So that wasn't as much an issue with me. Like that didn't bother me. I thought the scene, there were only a few things that really pulled me out of the movie, and Leia wasn't one of them, at all. And I'll talk about what did here in a bit, but Leia didn't pull me out. Is it the phrasing? Am I?
What do you got, Neil? What do you got? You're over there
I'm just enjoying my honey Jim Beam bourbon.
It might be the only way you get through this movie, Neil. It really might.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm going to need to drink to get through tomorrow because he hasn't. He wants to watch episode 8 before we go to the cinema to watch episode 9, and I'm trying to point out to him it doesn't make any bloody difference. Just watch episode 9.
So okay.
Episode 9, and let's go ahead and just say it. There was a lot of retconning essentially being done through episode 9 of episode 8.
That's all I've heard is shade being thrown on 8, retconning on 8, which makes 8 superfluous, and episode 9 basically being 2 movies in one movie.
I've heard the 2 movies in one movie, but essentially I also look at episode 8 as 7.5. I mean, it picks up almost immediately after episode 7. I think it's days even, and in some cases even hours, right? But like, okay, I don't think there was as much I didn't see the retconning, at least. Maybe I was oblivious to it.
Well, tell her who her real parents are, and then at the end, where Luke was like, "I made a mistake."
Yeah.
You could have essentially replaced Luke saying "I made a mistake" with episode 8 made a mistake.
Yeah, we hired Ryan Johnson. So no. So here's the thing. Okay. Back to this, and we'll get to that in a moment. Okay. Episode 9 introduces Rey as a Palpatine. This is a theory that has been going around. I know. This is a theory that's been going around since episode 7, right? The only thing that bothers me about this is I don't know if it's meant to try to humanize Senator Palpatine, but it doesn't. Like, it doesn't do much for Palpatine, right? But he had a child who was of his blood, who then had a child, which was Rey.
Right behind me, Darth Vader comic number 25.
Yep. Great comic.
Great comic. The Marvel the recent Marvel run of Darth Vader. What I'm showing you behind me, terribly, I might add, is that Palpatine is Darth Vader's father.
Yeah.
He infused the baby that Shimmy was carrying with the dark side of the Force. So technically,
he's Anakin's daddy.
Yeah.
Technically, Palpatine is Anakin's daddy.
Which
anyway, back to
which makes Rey and Kylo related.
Second cousins?
It does.
Which makes the kiss.
Yeah.
At the end, very strange.
Very
strange.
Face
it, Rey was being trained by Leia. It's not that strange, right?
No. She's like, hey, if you ever get the chance to kiss your brother
/ cousin,
right? / cousin,
right? Kissing cousins.
It ain't illegal.
That's right.
In a galaxy far, far away.
That's right. And well, it's not illegal to kiss them. I mean, it's the marriage that I think in this country, at least, that is illegal. I don't even know if it's illegal. It's just maybe it's just frowned upon. I don't know. But the moment where we saw Rey going through that initial training, it's the training scene in what do you call it?
Was it a montage?
It wasn't a montage.
It was a montage.
Was it
It
like
led to a
it
montage.
was?
Okay, compare said training montage to the Luke Yoda training montage on Dagobah.
Similar.
Okay, I'll give
me
it to you.
I've got a
I'll
frame
give
of
it to you,
reference.
but there was no
good?
Leia. There was no Leia training her specifically. It was through a droid. She was running an obstacle course. It was not anything like the Luke one,
No.
but
So
it was a montage.
So it was a crap training. It was a training montage, not a good.
It
training
wasn't
montage.
crappy.
No,
No,
yeah,
I
it
actually
wasn't
enjoyed
crappy.
it.
No, it
I
was.
actually enjoyed it.
It shows Rey's frustration in training, and I think that was very crucial to building on everything that she's done so far, right?
And she said she didn't earn
because
Luke's
she wants
lightsaber.
it. She's a millennial. She wants everything instantaneously.
No,
No,
she doesn't want it instantaneously. In fact, Neil, she gives the lightsaber back to
Yeah.
Leia, saying, "I have not earned this lightsaber."
Yeah, and I thought that was a cool.
So she doesn't
moment.
want it.
I thought that was a very cool moment where she's like, you know what, this isn't mine yet. I'm not. And again, I think that is in keeping with the whole Padawan master dynamic, where you have to earn a lightsaber. You
don't earn a lightsaber. You make your own lightsaber.
But you earn.
You're
the
given
right
a training
to be trained.
lightsaber.
You
Okay,
earn the right to be trained as a Jedi. And
I'm going to go into a little bit of spoiler about Fallen Order for a second.
Okay.
At this point, when you go to there's an ice planet, or we all know it's Ilios. Was an ice planet. Ilios. The scarring of Ilios that the Imperials had done was very similar to Starkiller Base.
I thought Ilios was Starkiller Base.
That's what I think as well.
I think it's been confirmed.
There was no way that she could have created her lightsaber from a kyber crystal from Ilios anymore. So the lightsaber was all she could get.
Yeah. But I thought that was really cool. I think had Carrie Fisher survived, I think there would definitely be more. There would have been more training. There would have been more. It would have been a longer film, specifically in this first act, because it's Rey training, and she's got the Force powers. She's strong with the Force, but it's problematic because,
So we end up we really got to kick it into gear here because we're trying to finish the entire show by 8:30, and you know what, we're gonna go a little bit over the top of the hour. It'll be all right. We still have time for the blockbuster ending at the end of the show.
Okay, so continue
on the Escape Podcast.
Go for it.
So they'll have to come over to our show,
and I'll do a full review after my second break.
Come join us.
Okay, go ahead.
So it all comes down to the fact that they're chasing after this thing. Rey thinks that she kills Chewie after unknowingly using Force lightning to try to stop Kylo from letting this ship escape.
Yes. Okay. I have many theories on this, but I'll say this. That was a heartbreaking moment for me. As I saw that, I almost started crying. That was powerful. And
I leaned over to Christy and I said, "Well, he never got his medal."
Yeah. Well, he did. But oh man.
Yeah, no, I've cried at the death of Chewie.
Yeah. I was actually upset because my first thought that is a terrible way to go. And they forced lightning. They blew him up, and they didn't drop a planet on him. They should have dropped a planet on him.
Should have dropped a planet on him.
I mean,
that's the only way to kill Chewie. The only way that Chewie gets killed. Drop a planet on him.
I did love the introduction and the attire for Lando Calrissian. I was very
Yes.
excited to see him back and to see him doing his thing. Like, he's clearly being a player. I mean, let's face it, that whole celebration is Burning Man on a different planet. I mean, they are all drugged out of their mind, probably, just partying and
Which
having
is
a good
probably
time.
why Lando's there.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, Lando is the coolest cat in the
Exactly.
galaxy.
He probably organized it. Let's face it. That was awesome. The moment. Here's the thing, and to sum it all up, Episode 9 is about redemption, and it's about the choices that you make as a person, leading to your ultimate destiny. And it wasn't done in a way, in my mind, that was preachy, but it was done in a way that gave me hope for humanity. You know, like, if we just make good choices, if we just, and even when we make bad choices, like patricide, you know.
So we see right. So we get this redemption that you're talking about,
Yes.
in the form of the battle that you see on the over the water.
Yes.
In the trailers. All of a sudden, Rey gets the upper hand, even, because
Rey gets the
Kylo-
upper hand in a fight against
it's
Kylo.
because Kylo has
oh my
this,
god!
This
Shock horror.
This startling moment. Rey gets the upper hand, takes his lightsaber, and runs him through by igniting the lightsaber, kind of like how how Kylo killed Han.
Yeah. And then, at the response of that, at the return of that, or like after she sees what he's done, right? Now this was, I will say, one of the things that bugged me, and this is part of the reason why I feel like I need to read the book, because it's not explained well in the movie, is Leia's role in that whole dynamic. So Leia reaches out to Kylo, right, during this fight scene, right?
Yeah,
And
she feels the fight going on. She gets his attention.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it happened. Leia got his attention. Leia got Rey's attention, both, and
Rey kills him.
They got distracted, and Rey took advantage of it.
Yeah, and so Rey runs Kylo through, and then this is the only connection to the Mandalorian. Rey heals.
Well, it was the reason. It was the reason they had to do it on the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because until then we had not seen.
I am not listening to you.
That's fine.
We had not seen this happen before in old or new canon.
Yeah, not like this. And it plays a crucial part later on.
And she heals him. There we go. We didn't mention that.
Yes. Yeah, she heals him. Right, he's dying. She heals him. But
sorry. What was that? Was that so Rey beat Kylo in a lightsaber duel?
Yes.
Okay.
Now one of the things while I didn't necessarily care for, I mean, the Palpatine thing I was okay with, right? It wasn't how I wanted it to work out, but whatever. One of the things that I did like, and they do bring up, and it does seem as a continuity, as it was meant to be in continuity, is that Kylo and Rey are he calls it a duad, or something to that effect. Dyad. Thank you. Dyad in the Force. And the idea is, together they are more powerful, right? And that's something that stays in keeping with what we've seen. We've seen dyads, duos in the Force, right? Chewie and Han are a dyad. They might not have the Force power, but they still are a dyad that has a positive influence in the Force. The Sith are that way. The triangle that is the father and children of Mortis are a dyad. That keeps a balance with the father, and so I felt like it was in keeping, and then it wasn't so out of
well,
the
get
ordinary.
this. So technically, Mortis could have been, Mortis assumed Palpatine's position, or Palpatine assumed Mortis's position.
Yeah.
The father and the daughter, or the son and the daughter. I mean, technically, a great grandson and a granddaughter.
Yeah.
are Rey and Kylo. You know, there you get the triad.
Wait, hold on.
Now,
So
No. That completely discount. Yeah, no, forget it. I was going to say that completely discounts Shadows of the Empire, which was a graphic novel series that explains who takes over the remnants of the Empire after the Emperor dies. But what the hell? It's just 2 decades ago. It's only something I invested part of my life into, thinking, hey, this is a cool way for the Empire to go after the Emperor dies. But to that.
Neil, don't you have a drink to finish?
Yeah.
Yes. I know.
So Thaddeus, let's get to the very. I hate to rush this, but let's get to the very end, the final battle. Palpatine lures Rey. She is able to assume the control of Kylo's old Wayfinder, and she gets to Exegor.
Yes.
And she plots the course for all the Resistance, so you see the big fleet battle. You get Star Wars in that way.
Yes.
But basically Palpatine lures her in.
Mm-hmm.
They're at Exegor.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that Palpatine is saying, all right, you are my child. You're my grandchild.
Yeah.
You will inherit this throne. Now the ritual must be completed. Kill me and assume your place on the throne.
Yep. And I liked the concept there, because what does she have to do? She either has to sacrifice her friends for the greater good, right? Or she has to kill her grandfather, and take his place, and then sacrifice the galaxy to save her friends. And I liked that concept. Yes, Neil.
Go ahead, Neil.
Bullshit. Palpatine never wanted to hand anything off. Palpatine wanted to live forever.
Now,
He didn't want to hand it off to a son or a daughter or a granddaughter, for that matter. That's That's Jar Jar Abrams just making up shit as he goes along. I'm sorry, but the Emperor never wanted to hand anything off. He wanted immortality. He wanted to rule the galaxy under an iron fist forever.
And
he never wanted to hand it off to bloody anybody.
I agree. But the concept that they introduce here isn't one that's super far from the old canon. It is,
but it is.
It
is precisely for that reason. It is so far from the old canon for that exact reason. Everything about Palpatine was he wanted to live forever, he wanted to rule forever, and he didn't want anyone killing him or removing him. He wanted to be the all-powerful Sith and have an apprentice. I mean, the whole purpose of wanting to turn Luke Skywalker was so that he had a younger apprentice.
Yeah.
If Luke had had kids, he would have wanted Luke dead, and he would have wanted his kids as his apprentice. He wanted to be the person there, the focal point of the Sith forever, and he just wanted to keep recycling his bloody apprentices. If in this story and if in this movie he'd said, you are destined to be my apprentice to rule the galaxy at my side, that would have been more believable. But to say you must destroy me and take my place, unbelievable. If they put that in the story, when I read that in the leaks, that would have been more believable, and that I would have looked at and gone, yes, that is Palpatine at his essence, wanting someone to mold in his image. And if he had a granddaughter as his apprentice, teaching her the ways of the dark side of the Force, that's what he wanted. So why the hell Jar Jar Abrams did the whole... It's a complete and it's a hit and a miss. It is an own goal as far as I'm concerned.
So, and I'll say this: I agree with you that Palpatine always wanted to rule, but what you're talking about is ruling via, like, what do you call that? Ruling in absentia, right? If he's training someone, what's the goal of training the next person? The goal was always to have. There was always two.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity, right? But again, the idea here is the way that this takes over, the way that Palpatine is presented in Episode 9 is he would embody her, right? The everything that the Sith are would then go into Rey, and then he would continue to rule, but within Rey. Right, kind of the concept of transfer of essence,
and then
which is a rip-off of Dark Empire,
Yeah.
which is what he tried to do with Anakin when Leia was pregnant with Anakin Solo. The actual child of Han and Leia.
Yeah, and so it's a similar concept. They are taking from the old canon and tweaking it.
No. They're taking one tiny aspect from old canon. He's taking something from old canon, making it his own, and just hoping that people who are hardcore Star Wars fans don't realize that he's ripping it off without paying homage to it. Because normies ain't going to realize that. Because normies ain't going to read Dark Empire or Dark Empire 2.
And definitely not.
All right.
So
okay.
We are going
over.
We're definitely running over. But guys, thank you, Thad, so much for coming on for simulcasting this. We will have more of our discussion on all of this coming up at a later date. Maybe we'll do one next week before I leave on my trip to Galaxy's Edge.
Yes. So enjoy that too.
So I certainly will. Now, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Talking Mando and Talking Skywalker. We're gonna do this quick, guys. Remember to smile
and stay nerdy. With that, I'm ending the stream. All right, my channel. Thanks for joining us.